Everybody, Thomas here. It's very fortunate that my dad also runs a Timberking sawmill and everything, so he understands how to use the computer, all the controls and stuff like that. I have some oak logs up here in Wisconsin that he needs to cut up into a job that he's got for down in Tennessee. A whole lot of 2x4s and 2x6s. So he's up here. He's going to go ahead and run the saw while I do some work in the garage. He's running the ice blade that we have from Southeast Metals, and this blade has been cutting absolutely phenomenal. That cut quality is looking really great, and these logs, they are quasi-frozen because we've had some really cold temperatures here the past couple days. So this is a good test for this blade. Let's see how it works. The log that we are cutting is red oak. These are red oaks that I got from one of my buddies down the road and everything. It's just awesome seeing someone else operate the mill from this perspective for a little bit. Just handles it just like a pro there. But again, very beautiful red oak, very hard wood, jank to scale, around 1,300 or so PSI. So this is I would call a moderately hard wood. White oak is definitely harder, along with beech and stuff like that. But red oak, I love working with it in dimensional form, and sometimes in slabs. The only problem though is when you get a lot of knots and stuff like that, it's very prone to moving. And if you ever have like a knot section like that, when this is drying, that might get a little bit funky. But hopefully as we go further into that log, we won't have that knot section influencing that wood too much. Right now he's getting the computer set up to whatever scale he's looking for. I believe he's going to be cutting these in store-bought dimensions, and yeah, it's he's trying to maximize his cut there. But yeah, this is going to help him out, and it helps me out because I've got to get rid of logs. As you see, I've got the one log there, and I've got 3 more there, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've got 9 logs, or yeah, excuse me, 10 logs over there, plus this one here. So we've got 11 logs in total that we got to get cut up, and he's going to take these back with him. Awesome. There, got Mr. Gary Atkinson's blade drip there, applying lubricant. You see how how smooth that blade's running through there. Awesome! Look at that sawdust flying out. Beautiful. Watch the exit out of the wood. Nice, clean, crisp exit. Perfect. No movement. And Dad's just setting up his presets here, trying to maximize the amount of wood he can get out of here. And this is interesting because he runs the 2220, and I'm anxious to hear the difference between them and how, because he cuts a lot more in the 2220 than I do. Even through that knot there, that blade stayed nice and true. I'm pretty impressed with this ice notch blade. I get to do some different angles I don't usually do in my videos because I got someone else running the saw. That's a huge help. Watch that exit there. See that log popped up, so there's a bow in the log. You can see bowed up on this side here, that side there. So that's a movement of the logs, meaning there's some tension in there. And each of those boards are going to kind of be bowed like that. So still pretty awesome to see this kind of angle here as we're cutting. Watch this entrance into the log. Beautiful. Super cool. perfect exit. Okay folks, if you saw me during the time lapse, I got up on there. What I did is I tightened up the drive belt. The drive belt that's tucked away inside there, it has some flap to it, and we tighten that up so it's cutting, or it's starting, it's engaging the clutch much smoother without getting that belt flop. And you can see now it's running a lot smoother than it was earlier, so that's great. But yeah, cutting up a lot of the good stuff here. I'm going to help get my dad, or help get this board off here, so stand by. Now, I've talked about this in previous videos. I like to keep the blade running and then take my off-cut flitches, whatever you want to call them, off the back side of the mill when I'm operating the one-man operation. I don't like to have anyone or myself get in front of a blade very close to take off slabs. So I work from the aft portion of the log to get up in there. So see, he was adjusting that log just slightly to square it up on those bunks. Using a tow board, using everything he's got there at his disposal. A nice, beautiful flat cut. I'm really impressed with this ice notch blade that I got from Southeast Metals. We've had them for about a year, but we've been waiting on frozen logs. Now these logs are, like I said, quasi-frozen, but it's a hard wood. They're really good for cutting anything hard, and they stay nice and true. My dad's very impressed with the blade thus far as well. See, we're doing all these cuts real time. Cut through beautifully. It's all, like, again, it's a rare occasion when I let someone else operate my mill. There's only about 2 people I'll let operate my mill. My dad and my buddy Neil, and I let my buddy Jack as well operate my mill without me standing next to it, I should say. But it's always great to see someone else running the mill, seeing like the techniques that they use, and it's just great to see my mill in action from this point of view. Like I said, we're running the BioLube on the blade. We got Gary's new wiper system on there. My dad's impressed with the BioLube, as am I. Keeping that blade nice, crisp, and clean, and keeping those guide rollers just as clean as can be as well. Beautiful. These oak logs now for, I'd say, just over a year, and that bark is starting to come off. That outer layer just kind of peeling right off. You got it on the log stop. There you go, log dog. The think he's going to probably cut these ones into 2x6s. The last batch was 2x4s. And I will be keeping track of the board footage on this blade, and we'll display that at the end and talk about what the blade looks like, how the blade cuts, and overall assessment of the blade, and the pros and cons of the blade. This is a one-time use blade. We're going to see if there's an option to sharpen it, but I don't think we'll be able to really get a good sharpening of it, just because of the way and uniqueness of how it looks. What we were doing there is clearing out the bark that had gotten underneath the bunk. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch on a time lapse, because also I gotta clear out some room on my phone because I'm running out of space here. Cut on here. That is a big, I'm talking big stack of wood. Super awesome. There's very few sawmills that can cut that much capacity right there, and that's what? That's almost 16 inches tall right there. Amazing. The blade has performed amazingly well. Very happy this blade and the performance therein. But that's a stack of 2x4s and 2x6s. Now the end piece here has got a little craziness going on, but that's impressive though. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! That's amazing. There's 30 boards there. 10 are 2x6s and then 20 of them are 2x4s. That's impressive. And then we're gonna go over next to the truck where I've been throwing all the other stuff, and we're gonna count out the number of board foot that this blade has cut thus far. Okay, so we threw all the resaw boards back on here. There's a pile of those. He's gonna cut these down to 4 inches, and then we'll have a final count. But we have an absolute, literal, more than ton of wood on the back of that truck. Yeah, makes some beautiful boards here. And my dad, he also agrees. He's very impressed with this blade. Awesome. Folks, we have on the bed of this truck 441 board foot of 2x6s and 2x4 out of red oak. So that's a pretty good run of that blade. There's another bit here, maybe 20 board foot or so, of just boards that did not make the cut and everything for what they're wanting to use them for. And we still have plenty of life on this blade. We're going to continue cutting with this. And if you also do recall, we did cut with it on the black walnut. So I'm going to say rough numbers, we're sitting about 500 board foot on that blade, and it is cutting absolutely phenomenal. I think my dad can attest to it. I mean, it's a good cutting blade. It's a very good cutting blade. And it's only like a one-time use blade, like I said, but we're going to see if we can sharpen it some way. And then also later on, we're going to do a video talking to my dad here about the performance of the 2020 versus his 2220, and I think they're pretty similar. So stay tuned for that video. But we're going to conclude this video for right now, because this is all we're cutting. We're going to do, because now it is raining, which is awesome. Actually, it's sleeting. There's some ice and everything on top of this as well. So we're going to go inside, warm up for a bit, and continue on. But this is going to be a nice load of wood you're going to be hauling back. Okay, folks, something I didn't show in the video, and I got a little story to tell too, but this is what the ice notch blade looks like. So you can see there's actually like a double notch in there. You got your primary tooth, and you got your secondary tooth kind of down there. But the secondary, I say the secondary, that smaller tooth is what's going to hit first, kind of, you know, make the notch, and then it hits on this outer tooth right here. But that's the uniqueness of this blade, is its design, and that is not, unfortunately, I don't have any way to sharpen that. And that blade, she's still good and sharp and everything. But, you know, so at the end of that video, you'll notice it started snowing, stuff like that, and I had to get my dad out of here the next day. Well, soon after that, we actually had a giant snowstorm. But what I'll say though, we were predicted to get, you know, 14 to 20 inches. But the temperature was like 34 degrees. So we still have a lot of snow out here. It was heavy, wet snow. And we are now day 5 without power. So I've got my generator running there in the garage. We've been backfeeding into the house. I had to make a crazy connection because everything was sold out. So I had to make a crazy connection in order to run 220 into the house so I could run my well. Got that figured out on day 2 of no power, or day 3, whichever one it was. But anyways, we were able to take showers and stuff like that. The funny thing is though, 2 weeks ago, I had already sent my generator down to Tennessee. So I had to go out and buy that brand new generator. You gotta love it, you gotta love it. But we're running a generator. The neighbor's running a generator over there. There's at least 4 sections of power lines down on our road alone, and we might get it back this weekend, maybe. So we'll have about 6, maybe even 7 days of no power. We've been playing a lot of board games and all that good stuff, but and also I have not been able to run the tractor or anything like that because the ground, with all the snow we got, everything is just filthy, wet, sloppy, nasty. Yeah, as I'm walking on the ground right now, it is sinking in. But good times, good times. I mean, we have absolutely loved living here in Wisconsin, and this is actually the first time I'm just now noticing that the dogs got into the trash. I'm upset with you. You got into the trash. Anyways, we love it up here in Wisconsin, and this is the first time we've actually lost power like this. So, yeah. It's not been bad. It's just been an experience. We've been playing a lot of board games and stuff like that. So, without further ado, we'll go ahead and conclude this video, and I will get out here hopefully maybe Sunday after church or something like that if we get power back. But I think today we're going to go fishing. Went fishing. Yesterday was my birthday, but we went fishing, or I went fishing, excuse me, for some walleye. Got a nice walleye within the first 5 minutes being on the water. And right now it's that one time of year where we get 1 walleye per day. So I got to go today, and my son will go with me, and we'll go get some more walleye. All right, please like, subscribe. We'll see you around. Big surprise, I think I've talked about it before, but we are buying a second farm down in Tennessee, and I will have a video next week of that farm down there because we are very close to closing. Cannot wait. All right, we'll see you around. Thanks.